Mohammed Mudasi Dibu graduated from Oxford University with excellent performance. He has been working in the Asia-Pacific Department of Pakistan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the European Department, and the permanent missions to the United Nations. And he was appointed as the Pakistani Consul General to Chengdu in September 2017. Though Pakistan had trade deficit with China in 2018, under the jurisdiction of Dibu, Pakistan's exports increased by 132%, covering Sichuan, Yunnan, Guizhou, and Chongqing. How did he make such achievements after only 1 year in office? And what does he think of the future of China-Pakistan trade? The China Economic Net made an exclusive interview with Pakistani Consul General to Chengdu, Mohammed Dibu. Chengdu is a fabulous tourist destination in China. The mega city ensures visitors from home and abroad to enjoy the stays every year. The relaxing teahouses covers the entire city to present the long history culture. The lively nightlife mixes bars and clubs, even serving Sichuan opera shows and delicious food of varieties. In cuisine-rich China, Sichuan food is nationwide popular. After all, Chengdu is the Unesco's first ever city of gastronomy. If this is not enough, there's a unique place for visitors to watch China's cutest creature, the giant pandas. In Dibu's eyes, Chengdu is also a charming city from the aspect of economic development.
I have been approached by some banks in Pakistan. They want to come to Chengdu, and they want to see that how financial industry of Chengdu is progressing. In fact, they were to come up last month, but due to their business schedule, other things, they could not come. So I am also telling people in Pakistan that for financial industry, of course, Guangdong and Shenzhen are very important, but I am telling them that Chengdu is going to be equally important. There is so much depth in Chengdu. So I'm telling many financial people from the financial industry, to explore companies in Sichuan and in Chongqing to see where we can create synergies.
Kunming is the capital city of Yunnan province in China with a long history, which is well known as the City of Spring. The city nourishes splendid natural sightseeing and pleasant weather throughout the year. With a history of more than 2,400 years, Kunming is the gateway to the ancient Silk Road, which facilitated trade with Tibet, Sichuan, Myanmar, and India. Covered with blossoms and lush vegetation all year round, Kunming is also reputed as the city of flowers. Sales of Pakistan at Kunming Fair ranked first among all exhibitions in China in 2018. And why did it happen?
We are organized from near the Kunming Fair. In fact, for the Kunming Fair, which is starting from 12th June, we have started preparing for last 1 month. We are already into preparations. About 224 booths will be given to Pakistan. Last year I went there as a speaker from Yunnan government had invited me to speak there. Yes, so maybe, thank you, maybe we did a lot better job. The more and more I realize, ultimately this is all about promotion. Of course, quality of products is very important. Of course, the meeting international standards is very important. But if you have all those things in your plate, the next important part is promotion, how dedicated you are. 800,000 to me is a very small amount. Now this year, it should be more than $1 million. Next year, $2 million. This is my hope. This is my dream.
Okay,
Yes.
your dream.
Yes. And once you have big dreams, then you can achieve them.
Pakistan had a trade deficit with China in 2018. Pakistan's exports under the jurisdiction of Dibu increased by 132%, covering Sichuan, Yunnan, Guizhou, and Chongqing. This was a great achievement that Dibu made.
First of all, I think this is something extremely good. This shows that Pakistan is also going to export a lot of products to the southwest of China. I think the important thing was the public outreach. The consulate general became very vibrant and active, reached across the media. And I think then the quality of Pakistan's products is also getting better. Pakistan's learning curve is also getting better because of China-Pakistan economic corridor, because energy issues have been, the shortages of energy have been resolved in Pakistan. So I think a number of factors, and then the support we were getting from institutions in Pakistan. But I must also tell you that, the Chengdu, Sichuan government, I also have to thank Sichuan government, the CCPIT, China's Council for Promotion of International Trade, which remained deeply engaged with us, and the Chengdu Chamber of Commercial Services, and a lot of important major business houses. So I would not say it's just one factor. There are many critical factors which brought Chengdu in the limelight in Pakistan, and various Pakistani cities in limelight in Chengdu. A lot of delegations went to Pakistan. A lot of delegations from Pakistan came to Chengdu. I think we effectively used platform of media. A lot of interviews. I gave a lot of interviews to Sichuan's media. Similarly, in Pakistan, I gave a lot of interviews. Then I also engaged chambers, Pakistani chambers, with the chambers of Sichuan. So when chambers began connecting with each other, then there was direct access between hundreds of people, if not thousands of people. Then people start communicating by themselves. So it was a sort of clean slate, connected, made connections with a great deal of dedication. And I think those connections then helped build trust between the trading community.
Okay, so we bring out the role of the chambers.
Yes.
Not
yes.
only ourselves.
Yes, absolutely, the chambers, because ultimately the private sector has to be engaged in promotion of any business or trade activity. So I think the private sector of Pakistan, and then some of the important private companies of this region, the whole of this region, Chongqing, Sichuan, Guizhou, as you very rightly said. So I think this really had a very good impact, not only on the promotion of trade, but in creating deeper understanding between Pakistan and Sichuan. Now Sichuan, is a very vibrant, remarkable historical province of China. There's so much history of China in Sichuan. So I'm glad that now people know the panda, many great places of Sichuan. So I think in the era of globalization and these media tools, WeChat, we made effective use of that. And that is a very Chinese way of life, where the Chinese develop their own culture and their own identity in a very profound way. So panda is deeply embedded into the psyche of the people in Sichuan. So wherever people of Sichuan go, they identify themselves with panda. Rice, cotton, yarn, chromite, some of the mining products. In Yunnan, we had sent some makeup. The women do the makeup.
Yes.
Makeup, and now we are focusing a lot on beef and meat, but that will take time because there are quarantine issues.
Right.
So once the quarantine issues are going to be resolved, then I think Pakistan's beef and meat industry will be able to export to this part. And then one more thing we introduced was the dental products. You know, the dental
and
products.
surgical instruments.
Yes, surgical instruments. And about 2 weeks ago, there was a dental exhibition in Chengdu. So people from Pakistan came also, and you know they had very good sale of their products. So this is only the second year of selling surgical instruments from the Pakistani side.
Oh, only the second year.
This was just the second year.
Okay, so last year from your
Yes.
Okay.
I introduced my office introduced these surgical and dental instruments because we think that it's a huge market. So, and Pakistan has a great deal of expertise. Pakistan's surgical instruments go all across Europe. We have some very good companies which meet the international standards. So I thought that it's a good opportunity to introduce our products to Sichuan. So I think this year the sale was extremely good. The conservative figure is 250,000 RMB. Of course, this was second year, but I think in next years it will continue to amplify. This number will continue to amplify, and in next 5 years, I see it expanding maybe 10 times. In Chinese market is a very sophisticated one. Their regulatory frameworks are very, very strong. Pakistani companies have to be more competitive. They are competitive, but to come into the Chinese market, they have to follow the Chinese practices, and that's good for the Pakistani companies also because internally they will become more competitive. So I think as time goes by, as more companies come, they will know that China has a regulatory framework. We have to go through the process of certification, and once they do that, the size of their export will increase many, many times. So I think ultimately Pakistani companies will do so much better that they will meet all the certification standards of China. After living in China, I take a very long view of history.
Okay.
I've taken a view of history of 20 and 30 years. So in a long struggle of history, 2-3 years is nothing. As I told you, ultimately it's all about competition and improving the quality of the product. So the Pakistani companies are on the way to do that. As soon as they do it, they will have not only the market of China, but they will have a much broader access to the global market. But remember that Pakistan's industrial learning curve is much more smaller than that of China. China's learning curve in industry, in technology has been remarkable. We need to catch up. So that's why our interaction with the Chinese, Pakistani businessmen's interaction with Chinese businessmen is very critical. That's how their learning curve will become a lot better. And that's how we will have more opportunities, more competition, and we will be exposed to a global kind of outreach to the market. So I very strongly believe in competition.
During the interview, Dibu talked about Pakistani agricultural products and expressed his confidence in exports to other countries, even though the GDP of Pakistani agriculture was not that high comparatively in 2019.
So I think more agriculture products will be exported to China. This is a question of time. I think Pakistani mangoes, we are sure that Pakistani mangoes are going to be exported to China. And I think that once the quarantine issue is resolved, then dairy products and meat and beef can be exported to China. And I think fish and seafood can also be exported to China. So I think in next few years you will see a very demonstrable change. Now we are into the next phase, and that phase is called building up special economic zones. So we want more Chinese companies to go to Pakistan. There are some of the companies from Yunnan are already working in Pakistan, and we want more companies to go. And I'm glad to tell you that Yunnan Academy of Social Sciences has established a Pakistan Center in its premises. This is a very important development.